So Reb Nachman says, this is so important. Imagine I'm so sad and I can't get out of it. Can't get out of it. So I say to myself, is there one mitzvah, is there one thing I like to do? So I decide on one mitzvah, on one good deed. And mamish, do this one good deed. It's all your heart. And you see how deep this is. Reb Nachman says, what is called with all your heart? With all your heart means that even if I never ever do anything else, I was glad I was alive. I don't know why I'm thinking to myself, when was I ever privileged? I tell you, I don't know why it just came to my head. I was in Brazil, and it's a whole crazy story. In Brazil, I had the best manager ever. With all respect to Sam. In Buenos Aires, in Argentina, Brazil, I had a Gewalt manager. And when I arrived, he says to me, I want you to know, my name is Moshe Legana. He says, I grew up on the streets of Buenos Aires, and I'm basically a pickpocket. He says, I won't steal from you, but you know what it is? The crazy thing is, I never got a penny. He made thousands. And I'm not even bothering him because it was so good. I never had any publicity like this. I'm arriving in Buenos Aires. I'm on front page in every newspaper. I'm every day on the radio, everyday television. You know what he organized? That the first meal I eat in Buenos Aires, I'm eating with the wife of the president, who was Peron at that time, Mrs. Peron. And you know how he got it together? Because there's a factory of kosher cheese in Buenos Aires, and they sponsored it. Because what can I eat by Mrs. Peron? I can eat crackers and cheese, right? So it was crazy. The whole focus was not on me and not on Mrs. Peron. It saw cheese the whole time. But in the meantime, I was on television. The whole country knew that I'm there. And in all the movies, the news was me coming to Buenos Aires, sing Boch in Africa. We know it. Well, I think something. In Rio de Janeiro, and you know, Rio de Janeiro is crazy, right? And Moshe is also crazy. He put, in order to get special attention, he said that the rabbi came from America, he's singing, and Shabbos, he passed. He puts on black garments, and he's not permitted to use the elevator. Not use the elevator, not because I'm saying. He made a whole gazillion stuff. And it was in all the newspapers that I'm crazy. So a rich, non-Jewish Brazilian called up the newspaper and they said, this doesn't sound normal. What's this person doing on Shabbos? So they called up. They knew I'm in a hotel. So I said, I'm so sorry to tell you such stupid stories, you know. Please send me the editor and I'll tell him what I'm really doing on Shabbos. Anyway, to make it very short, I had a Gewalt article about Shabbos, about Simcha, Gewalt, and this rich Brazilian said like this, if they, every Sunday for 1 hour is a show on television to help those sick homeless kids. Their mom is sick, you know. He says, if I come and I sing on that show, then he is giving $2 million for the poor kids. Unbelievable, right? And you know the Jewish community is a little bit stupid, so they answered back, no, I can't come because I have to give a concert. Chil Hashem, God forbid, you know, the poor people hear that I'm not giving, because I have to play in the Jewish center. I said, folks, I don't care. I'm going to the television show. Get yourself a chazan to go till I come, you know. Stupid. Anyway, to make it very, very short, I was on television, and there were 100 mamish sick, homeless kids, you know, from the street. And I wanted them to sing with me. At that time, this was, my big thing was Am Yisrael Chai, right? And you cannot tell them long words, but Chai they can say, right? So I said, the Brazilian was translated in Portuguese, that we all are here to give those kids life. Chai, right? And every few minutes I was singing Am Yisrael Chai, and the kids would yell Chai, you know, Chai, Chai. Okay, I got a little bit famous on the street. And wherever I went, you know, all the poor people, they live on the streets. Right? Then I'm giving a concert somewhere north of Brazil. And in a fancy hotel. And they have a law that those poor kids are not permitted to be on hotel grounds. And I'm sitting there. It was mamish learning more than it was mamish gewalt. And I see a little boy and a girl. The boy looks 10, the girl is 12 maybe. And they were standing there, and they're afraid to come in. They're standing by the border. So I motioned them, come in, sit down. It was crazy. They don't speak English and they don't speak Portuguese. We were communicating so much. First of all, the girl told me it's her birthday. Hey, how you doing? Geht's dir gut, yeah? And to make it very short, I want you to know that the manager of the hotel came out and he was supposed to throw them out. I says, do me a favor, I'm paying all this heavy money. Do me a favor, give me 10 minutes of your time. I want to talk to them. So the girl told us that her father ran out from her mother before she was born. Then he came back with her brother. And her mother works day and night. Day and night. She cleans houses. Cleans houses day and night. And, you know, she and her brother, they are so sweet with each other. You know something? I told them to bring in cake and sandwiches. You know the way those kids ate? They're putting the English queen to shame. How noble they ate. I have never seen, I'm telling you, besides the big rabbis, anybody eating so noble. You know, they're starving to death. I'm sure they never had this kind of cake in their life. The way they were eating, just a little bit, couldn't believe it. And then the manager, the system, you know, I have to throw them out. I said, no, I won't, you know, because if they leave, I'm leaving. I put in all the newspapers, because I gave a big concert that night, that I was thrown out because I wanted to take care of the poor kids. You know, he began crying. He says, do you know something? Do you know I was one of those homeless kids? And it's a miracle I worked my way up. I'll tell you something, I wanted so much to adopt those two kids. You cannot imagine, it was just, how much a prince and a princess. And, you know, I was begging them, please come tomorrow with your mother. And they never showed up again. And, you know, listen, so many years later, and I thought to myself, if I only had the privilege of feeding those kids, it would be the greatest thing in the world, you know. Do you know how much abuse those kids have to go through in their life? And maybe they'll remember they once met somebody who treated them like a human being, you know. Unbelievable. I have to tell you something else. I gave a concert in Guatemala. After the concert, we invited for a party to the president of the Jewish community, naturally a multimillionaire. And as we walk into his palace, I see 8 kids, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10, and they sit under a tree. You know, all those poor people, everybody has their tree where they sleep. And I said, who are those kids? He says, that's where they live. I says, that means they are your neighbors. Are you taking care of them? I should see the way he looked at me. They're kids from the street. You know, the cutest kids in the world. And someone was there who speaks Portuguese. I said to me, if they would talk to the kids for me. Those kids have no parents, they don't even know who their parents are. They grew up on the street, can't read, can't write. How should they make a living when they're older? They have to steal. They have no choice, right? So I told those kids, I want you to come tomorrow morning for breakfast to my hotel. You want to know something, how noble those kids are? I don't know how they did it. But mamish, they came the next morning washed and combed. I don't know where they did it. Mamish Shabbosdik. And you know what it was? I got through to the wife of the president. Because she says, you don't have to invite them for breakfast, I'll give them some bread. I say, no, I want them to sit with me. I want to give them the covet. Anyway, the wife of the president came, she ate breakfast with us, she talked to the kids. 5 years later, I'm back in Guatemala. President picks me up. I say, listen brother, how are your neighbors? I says, you know something? We were so ashamed after you left. Do you know that we adopted those 8 kids? And some of them are finishing high school now. And we have already a fund for them to go to college. Unbelievable, you know? So you know something? If I would have had only one time stoker, right? One time I also had a big schia given stoker. I walked on Meishon and I see one of the rabbis. He is an enkel from Mendele Walker. I speak to him from time to time, right? He says to me, Shlomo, I want you to know I'm at the end. My daughter's getting married tonight. And nobody knows that I don't have a single penny for the wedding. I don't have a single penny. And since I'm a little bit of a rabbi, he says, I can't ask people. He says, I know that you're a big chassid of my heilige Eltezede, Mendele Walker. I want you to know something. I really didn't have this kind of money. What it said, Heilige Mendele, you're sitting up there. Make me the messenger. I gave him gewalt checks, you know, for thousands of dollars. Thousands of dollars. And the craziest thing is the checks never came back. It was Mama's little messenger, you know. Avi Mendele wanted to perform a miracle there. Turkish mendik like me, who walks around with head checks. So I thought to myself, obviously, even if the check still doesn't go through, it's not my money. Because I know I don't have it, right? I cannot pull out a check, 5,000 in October, 5,000 in December, and 5,000, I don't have it. But I gave it to him. Second vault, you know. So Reb Nachman says, whenever you're sad, is there one thing in the world you did or you want to do? Mamash keep you alive forever. But then Reb Nachman says, if you do something b'simcha, then Mamash is so full of prophecy that you know how much you have to pray for something. If the decree is out already, if the decree is not out, you just pray. If the decree is out, then you cannot pray. You have to go through the back door. Well, you know something real strong. Baruch Hashem, I know this story from Reb Nachman. I one time came to a person, I'm not the doctor, Moshe is. He had cancer. He couldn't see anymore. Because that saying he had no hair. It was at the end. So I go in there and say, I bless you to have a refuah shlema. It's over, right? So what I did, any Chassidish story I knew about healing, I told him. And you know what this? We didn't know if he can hear or not. So I put my guitar next to him, and his wife never gave out. She was saying to him, Nachman, if you hear the stories, can you just tap your finger on the guitar? You know? So he tapped his finger, you know. Awesome. We have one more thing. The Liska is the Simcha Hazais. You know, friends, I just told you stories of myself because I'm sure everybody has stories. Mamish, it should be clear to you, if ever in your life you did something, it's enough to keep your life forever. Keep your life forever.